I'm Jeremy Wade. I've made a career out of catching the world's deadliest freshwater monsters. Normally, I'm scouring for them in the most remote corners of the planet.
Hey!
But recently, I've been getting reports of killer fish from a place I didn't expect. The United States. From man-eaters growing monstrous on human corpses,
Fish as large as myself, or maybe more so.
to infamous familiar foes in dark, dangerous waters.
The water around me just started filling with blood.
I'm looking for the people who've encountered these beasts.
I think that he would have drowned me. I would have ate supper with Jesus that night.
And then I'll risk my life going after them.
We could be pulled into the water and never be seen again.
Boom! Hit me once. Oh! What a stupid thing to be doing.
Could one of the most developed countries in the world have deadly monsters hidden in its rivers and lakes?
Yeah.
Having been on the trail of monsters all over the world, I've learned to expect the unexpected. From wrestling a 300-pound extraterrestrial in a city, to dragging an electric eel from a drying-out mud puddle. But this could be my most unexpected quest yet. Over the past few years, I've been receiving information from all over the States, telling me there are river monsters lurking in America's backyards. So I'm going on a hunt to discover if there really are killers in the fresh waters of the United States. My journey begins in Florida, on the trail of one of the world's most formidable predators. And the reports that I've been hearing suggest that this potentially lethal animal is prowling unsuspected right under the noses of tens of thousands of people. This fish was the inspiration for one of the most iconic movies ever produced, Jaws. In the film, a great white stalks the coast of New England. But the blockbuster is actually based on a series of bull shark attacks in New Jersey in 1916. 2 attacks didn't happen in the ocean, but in a river, 16 miles inland. Bull sharks are top predators in warm coastal seas all over the world. But they are also able to survive in freshwater, which makes them trespassers into my territory. And I'm getting reports suggesting that they are well established in the Sunshine State. I want to find out if these deadly animals really are prowling Florida's inland waters, and if so, is this a modern-day Jaws just waiting to happen? Although great whites steal the headlines, bull sharks are responsible for more human fatalities than any other shark. In recent years, there have been several horrific attacks off Florida's coasts alone. Dawn Shorman was nearly killed by a 10-foot bull shark off Melbourne Beach in 1993. I'm hoping that her first-hand account will give me a deeper insight into bull shark behavior.
And I was probably about 25 to 50 yards out past the waves, maybe in 15 feet of water. And I just felt something slam into me. I felt this burning in my hand and a burning in my leg. The whole water around me just started filling with blood.
Dawn wasn't just worried about her own life. She was 6.5 months pregnant at the time.
And I did start panicking, and I think I remember just like calling out for my mom and just being really worried, like I needed help. And then no one was there but me, so I just relied on me, and that's the point where I gathered myself together.
She struggled back to shore as fast as she could. Dawn was rushed to the hospital, where she underwent surgery to repair life-threatening wounds. Just her leg needed 85 stitches. 2.5 months later, she gave birth to a boy. He's now 18.
And he was born healthy, and we named him McIntyre Shark Shaman.
This near-death experience has given Dawn an expert understanding of what could have led to the bull shark attacking her.
You can make your odds go up by doing something like what I did, swimming during cloudy, murky water, bait fish season. If you swim in the early morning or late in the afternoon, evening, that's when the bait fish are coming through. You know, if you see a lot of fish jumping out of the water, you shouldn't be in there because something bigger is chasing them.
After hearing Dawn's attack story, I feel more prepared to start trying to catch a bull shark to prove they're prowling Florida's freshwaters. My investigation will focus around the area from where I've been getting the most reports of bull sharks inland, the Indian River Lagoon. In 25 years of fishing around the world, I've learned that local knowledge is key to catching elusive fish. So whether I'm in Papua New Guinea, Alaska, or Florida, talking with locals is a must. I've been put in contact with Mike Palmer, who's been catching sharks for over 3 decades. Tackling bull sharks is his forte. He used to catch and kill, but for the past 15 years, it's been strictly catch and release. Mike will help me hunt my first American killer. However, he shark fishes from the shore without the security of a boat. Mike's heavy-duty rod is attached to a harness, which is strapped to the body. So if the rod gets pulled into the water, the fisherman goes in too.
For fishing on the riverbank and hooking a 500-pound bull shark, there's nothing like it.
Sounds potentially dangerous. Is that a correct summary, perhaps?
We've actually hooked fish and got pulled down to our knees and dragged down to the water's edge. And by some luck, the line broke.
What could be the worst possible thing that could happen with this kind of fishing?
We could die. We could be pulled into the water and never be seen again.
I have fished for bull sharks before, in Australia and South Africa, but mostly this was from a boat, which can follow a hooked fish. Fishing from land is something altogether different. I'm going to need a stronger rig. Because I could hook something more than 3 times my weight, I'm using some serious tackle, from enormous forged hooks to the strongest line I've ever used.
And we use the best harnesses to take the load off our back. How's it fit, Jeremy?
That feels good.
When we hook up on these big sharks here, we have a spotter on the back of our harness. We use the belts. We have a little handle on the back, so when we hook up that first surge, I mean, you could easily go in the water. During the daytime, people use those little stretches of beaches in the river, and people on rafts playing this and that. And when the sun goes down, the whole life ecosystem changes. That's when the sharks move into the shallows. They feed on stingray, they feed on mullets, and it's a whole different world at night.
I want to get my bait out a couple of 100 yards into the deep channel. I can't cast that far, so the only option is to paddle out and drop it in. But floating in a plastic canoe above killing machines potentially 12 feet long is a little unnerving. Back on shore, it's a waiting game. But I think we've picked the right spot. One of the things that Dawn said to look out for is happening. Schools of baitfish are jumping out of the water, and something appears to be chasing them.
That is a fish on. I'm leaning into this.
Although my reel is nearly on full drag, the fish is still able to swim off with ease. But the heaviest line I've ever used is still just about holding out. This has to be a monster. After a 20-minute fight, I bring it close to shore. When it breaks the surface, I see something I didn't expect.
Look at that! I might just come over it. Whoops.
It's clear I've hooked a giant. But this is no shark.
Fish's beach now. Just gonna go in there and grab it.
It's a Goliath grouper.
That is just a massive grouper.
After a 20-minute struggle, it should be worn out. But it appears this beast has only just started. As it thrashes, not only do I have to be wary of the giant hook in its mouth, but also the spikes along its back.
There's that. Hook's out. That is a beast. The length is
83 inches. 69, 83. Well, 69 inches.
That's just shy of 7 feet long and over 5.5 feet around. At this kind of size, it's going to weigh over 350 pounds. But they can grow even bigger, to over 600 pounds and 8 feet long.
I could feel it as a heavy fish, and it was also taking line against a very heavy drag. But what I was expecting to see when it came in close was a big dorsal of a bull shark. And then these spikes break the surface. Although these are very tough, resilient creatures, it's probably time to put this back.
I want to get it into deeper water to release it, but even with Mike watching my back, this monster isn't going anywhere easily.
I think I'm knee deep in water. This fish, its belly is still scraping the water. It's feeling anything like as tired as I do. I'll sink into a corner somewhere and just recover for a little while. But priority for me is to get another bait out. There's big bull shark out there.
Although not the monster I was hunting for, that leviathan proves giants do live in these waters. Buoyed by my success, I fish on into the early hours. But I get no further bites. This heavily settled modern metropolis seems the wrong place to hunt for potentially man-eating monsters. I've come to meet Grant Gilmore, an expert in bull shark behavior, who tells me otherwise.
The females entering every spring, giving birth in the lagoon or in the downstream freshwater areas. So they're 500, 600 pounds, 8 and 12 feet, then they leave. The young stay for the first 5 or 6 years, till they're 5 or 6 feet in length, a large predator by freshwater standards.
So at any time, 12-foot bull sharks could be prowling the waters just feet from these suburban backyards. Like some latter-day Minotaur, could man-eating monsters be stalking the labyrinth of Florida's canals?
How many of them might be swimming around? Are we talking dozens, hundreds, thousands, or what?
Well, certainly thousands. I think they have to recognize we do have these very large predators that are right off your front door if you live on the water in Florida.
The Indian River Lagoon is over 150 miles long and has numerous rivers feeding into it. It's also connected to the ocean by 3 inlets, one of which is at Fort Pierce.
Right up ahead there is the main way in and the main way out between the open ocean and these thousands of miles of freshwater canals. So
This is where, at this time of year, the 10 or 12 foot long pregnant females are coming in to drop their pups inland. This is also the same place where those juveniles, those 6-7 foot long sharks, having spent 5 or 6 years inland, are swimming out. So this here, you can see it's only a couple of 100 yards across, is like a highway for sharks. You know, potentially hundreds or even thousands of sharks every year swimming up and down, and it's just, you know, just right past all these people. My plan is to meet up with Mike later on to fish through the night from land. But after hearing about these bull shark numbers, I can't resist dropping a line in the water while I'm here. Bull sharks go for both live and dead bait, so I'm using one of each. There's a balloon on the line above the live bait to keep it clear of the bottom where it's more visible to predators, and to show me where it is. There's about 6 foot of water here, but we're right on the edge of 2 channels. There's the main dredged shipping channel there, then there's another side channel here, so we're in a bit of a V between the two. So this bait swimming around, what I'm thinking is from time to time it's going to stray over the drop-off above the deeper water. It's classic sort of bull shark ambush territory. Just giving the chum a bit of a work, just getting some smelly, oily fragments into the water. This will create a scent trail hundreds of yards long to attract the sharks onto my bait. After 3 hours, I get my first bite.
Shove it on the end of the rod.
It's round that other prop. It's a tarpon, a fish famed for its fight, and it just spat my hook out. That one was about 40 pounds, but they can grow to 8 foot long and weigh nearly 300 pounds. A fish that size is capable of causing some serious damage. Just thinking about how that tarpon threw itself out of the water, just the strength and the energy that they have. There have been stories of people in boats being killed after being hit by a large tarpon as it jumps out of the water. As night falls, it's time to meet up with Mike and brace myself for another session going after bull sharks from land. Yep, that's something on. Where he stops, start, run. That's official. Oh, yeah. And up and through a kick. Yeah, that's a kicking away. Once again, I'm reassured to know that Mike has got my back.
The big fish pull, so worst case scenario is I actually end up in the water.
Finally, the fin I've been waiting to see. To get a closer look, I need to tie a rope around its tail and drag it ashore. But I have to be careful. Even after the longest battle, sharks always keep something in reserve.
They go bigger than this, but this is a respectable sized fish.
This juvenile bull shark is about 6 feet long and is the right size to be leaving the freshwater and heading out into the ocean. The hook has cut the shark's mouth, but once it's released, it will heal very quickly. This shark's gums conceal its mouthful of razor-sharp, serrated teeth, which it only unsheathes moments before sinking them into its prey.
you can absolutely understand how somebody, even with an exploratory bite in a way from an animal like this, could just bleed out, lose a lot of blood, and that could be a fatal encounter. The fish could have spent the last 5 or 6 years actually in the inland waterways, in the canals, along with possibly thousands of others. And that's certainly quite sobering. If your paths crossed with a creature like this, it could end very badly. But I think the miraculous thing is that most of the time, the bull sharks go their way, we go our way, and actually nobody's any the wiser. Now I've landed one of these bull sharks, it's clear they are swimming among us, in freshwater rivers and canals, which run right through human habitation. So far, attacks have only occurred along the coast, and those attacks are probably more accident than targeted assault. They're mistaking humans for their usual prey of smaller fish and dolphins. Horror films and news reports forever remind us of the threat of a shark attack in the ocean. But what of these quiet inland waterways? Most people who use them are unaware of the killers just beneath the surface. And as more humans and sharks share these spaces, a freshwater Jaws could be just around the corner. The presence of bull sharks in Florida's canals is one instance of man-made structures offering safe haven to some of nature's deadliest killers. But dams can create monsters. Fish become trapped in a bigger, new habitat, and if left undisturbed, can grow to man-eating proportions, like the Wells catfish I caught in a dammed river in Spain. Recently, I've been getting reports of monster catfish sightings at the Bagnall Dam in south-central Missouri, which is at one end of the Lake of the Ozarks. It's a treacherous place. The lake behind the dam is statistically the third most dangerous stretch of water in the United States. It's a deep, liquid black hole where bodies regularly go missing. Could the large number of missing human bodies be linked to the reports of supersized catfish? I begin my investigation by meeting up with local historian Michael Gillespie to find out what he knows about the missing people.
No one really knows how many bodies have been lost in the lake and never recovered. But the best known incident involving that sort of thing was back in 1954. It was a boating accident involving an excursion boat called the Grand Glaze. The Grand Glaze left Bagnall Dam just in front of a large thunderstorm that was moving in. It was Memorial Day weekend. The boat went out across the lake and about 2 or 3 miles up the lake when it hit the leading edge of that storm.
Just as the boat turned into a sheltered cove, a strong gust of wind capsized it.
15 people went into the water, and of those 15, 8 were drowned. 3 of those 8 bodies were never recovered. One of the victims' fathers, actually out of his own expense, contracted to have divers search for his drowned daughter. They never did find her.
It's possible the bodies sank to the lake bed and were consumed by catfish. It's a grisly scenario I've encountered before in the Kali River, India, where catfish have grown gigantic from eating semi-cremated bodies put there during river burials. Maybe something similar is happening here.
I know there are large catfish in here, but there's a possibility there are some giant catfish in here. By giant, I mean fish as large as myself, maybe more so.
It really does seem as if there are seriously large fish in the water behind that dam. And what's interesting to me is that this is not some tropical jungle. We're talking about a body of water here that is right in the heart of the developed world. But before I cast my line into the murky depths, I want to know what sort of monsters could be investigating my bait. So I meet somebody who spends his working life in these treacherous waters. Salvage diver Tim McNitt has clocked up thousands of hours diving here. If there are monsters in this lake, he should know about it. So as well as boats and things that people have dropped, I mean, are you sometimes retrieving bodies out of the water here?
I've recovered 8 bodies in my lifetime. Sometimes they're in branches or trees underwater. Sometimes they're in vehicles underwater.
Have any of the bodies retrieved ever had anything partially feeding on them?
I have seen bodies of that nature.
Catfish are known to be scavengers. They will eat anything that fits in their mouth. And if they get big enough, then humans are on the menu. I want to know if the catfish in this lake reach that size. What's the biggest catfish you've seen?
Oh, probably at least a 6-footer, 6 to 7-footer, close to 280, 300 pounds. Head on him, about that big, bigger than me, heavier than me.
At last, a first-hand account from somebody who has seen a monster catfish in this lake. I need to start fishing as soon as possible, so I meet up with Steve Brown, who knows these dangerous waters well. The dam here is home to 3 types of catfish: the flathead, blue, and channel. I've never caught any of these before, but I'm interested in the 2 largest, which could grow to man-eating size. I've taken the unusual step of fanning out 4 rods to maximize my coverage of the water. Using this method, I get a barrage of bites. But keeping track of 4 active rods is a challenge. Despite my best efforts, I'm only landing small fry.
We just want to find a bigger one, that's all.
Over the next few days, I carry on fishing. The bites come thick and fast.
See how greedy these things are?
But there's no sign of a giant.
Still well short of the size we want.
I decide to try a trick I learnt on a previous adventure.
Got deep water here very close to the sides. It's a very steep bank there, that just continues. And about 25, 30 yards out, there's actually, it's the old riverbed. And remembering back to Wales catfish in Spain, if you get a bait in the old riverbed, that was always productive. So hoping that the same thing here.
This plan seems to be working. I get immediate interest in my bait.
Yeah, that's a good fish, that's a good fish. Shallow water, it's dashing, it can't go down, so it's going side to side. That was within minutes, seconds even almost, of putting the bait out. Keep it away from that other line there, getting some side strain on it.
Unlike yesterday, it seems that the big fish are now on the move.
This feels exciting. This is good size. I can see, oh, see the flank of that. Oh, yeah, lovely, lovely. That's a good size. Slacken off the drag a little bit. Where's the net? Oh. Lovely, in the net.
This one weighs in at 58 pounds.
Ah! Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. People think catfish are ugly, slimy scavengers, but I mean, this fish is just a muscular predator. And there's a big mouth on here, very capacious mouth. And there's no teeth as such, but I can feel, well, it's like lots and lots and lots of very close set points there for gripping. If they do grip something, they don't let go. But yeah, lovely fish.
These rows of tiny teeth would be ideal for gripping onto a human corpse underwater. And like alligators, catfish can spin, which would allow them to rip flesh or even limbs off the body.
If we went over the back, yeah, close to 4 feet, 8 inches across the head, a good 6 inches
Scaling that up to the size of catfish that Tim saw, the mouth would be big enough to fit around somebody's head. There are big fish in this lake. That would be frightening to actually bump into that in low visibility. You know, you literally don't see it until you're a couple of feet away. I'm convinced there are monster-sized catfish in the Bagnall Dam, which probably supplement their diet with human corpses. But one question remains. Are they scavenging bottom feeders that take pieces of dead bodies, or killers that take human lives? In past investigations, I have put myself at risk to prove a point. Like taking a dip with piranhas to show they don't always attack humans. Or using myself as bait when I tangled with eels in New Zealand.
Ow! Look at that! 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 Ah!
This case calls for an equally drastic measure. To prove they could be killers, I need to feel the full force of a catfish attack. I'm going to be the bait once again. There's an ancient form of fishing called noodling that predates rod and reel. When catfish are spawning, they make nest holes in rivers and lakes. You dive underwater and put your arm or sometimes your entire body into the nest. Then the catfish, defending its eggs, attacks. When it bites your hand, you grab its jaw, then haul it out of the water. To put my money where the catfish's mouth is, I'm traveling to Oklahoma, where noodling is popular. Not having my fishing gear and knowing that I will be the bait makes me uneasy. To find out what I could be up against, I meet Bobby Sparks, a noodling veteran, with a cautionary catfish tail, which does little to settle my nerves.
And we were going along, two buddies of mine, and they were quite a ways in front of me, and I stumbled over this hole. And I thought, hey man, this is a good one. I started into this hole. I got kind of about half the way down in it, and he come up and hit me real hard. So this fish was possibly breaking 100 pounds. He come up completely over my army boot, size 12, all the way up to nearly my knee.
The fish had the bottom half of Bobby's leg in its mouth and wouldn't let go.
And he clamped down. He started shaking and spinning. I didn't know where I was, up or down. I was almost to the top. Couldn't get my nose above the water. And he was pulling me down. He was gonna pull my leg completely off. That last pull, because he was pulling me down in, when my friends finally got to me and caught me and pulled me out. And I didn't know if I'd had the strength to fight back enough to get out of that hole.
If your friends hadn't been with you on that day, what do you think would or could have happened?
I think that he would have held me there and drowned me. I really feel that I would have ate supper with Jesus that night. There's so much power, there's so much strength. That's their domain. And I have a full respect for them in their home.
Clearly, I need to learn how to noodle correctly. It's too dangerous to attempt on my own. I've managed to hook up with Nate Williams and his friend Dylan, both experienced noodlers. Not only am I apprehensive about the dangers, but the pressure is on to catch a true river monster. They're halfway through a noodling contest where only the biggest catfish will do. The team with the heaviest total weight from their 3 largest fish wins the prize. After the contest, the fish are released back into the water. I've promised to keep the exact location of Nate's isolated stretch of river a secret to prevent other noodlers from picking up our trail. Here I'll get a chance to land the freshwater beast that eluded me at Bagnall Dam, the flathead catfish, one of the species that can reach man-eating proportions. Nate is confident of finding some big ones, but warns me what I might be up against. And I've done extreme fishing, normally with a rod.
Fish on!
It normally feels like you're in pretty direct contact with the fish. But this is real hands-on, isn't it? And I can imagine that gets pretty intense.
Yeah, this is a very different form of fishing. It's one of the most extreme and dangerous methods of fishing that you're going to find. You know, you reel in a fish for 45 minutes on a pole, even if he's very large, same size of these fish, he's going to be tired by the time you actually get him in your hands and handle him. These fish have every bit of fight in them right now. You're going to stick your hands in there, you're going to feel the full force straight on your hands without ever wearing him down.
Right, okay.
You want to keep that grip as tight as you can because they can sense weakness, and when they feel you just loosen it, that's when they'll try to do their death roll. Got that bottom jaw, it's a big handle. If they slip past that, they'll get up here and they'll just go to spinning. And they'll kind of wear grooves in your arms. See, like that? Sometimes they'll come way up here. And they can really get you anywhere in here. And they'll come up and that's what they do. They just wear around your arm. If his mouth is closed and he's bowled himself up where he can't actually fit out, then you're just gonna be stuck. And they can hold you down there. Every year people die noodling, but drowning. Sometimes their head's close to the surface and they just can't quite get there.
Right, okay. Let's go and do this thing.
The first suitable place we find to noodle is a concrete pipe, ideal for a nesting catfish. The plan is for Dylan to take the lead, because the opening is too small for me to fit into. The opening under the water is silted up, leaving only a tiny gap for entering. The plan is for Dylan to stick both his legs into the hole. When the catfish attacks, he'll pin it against the side. But to do this, he has to be totally submerged. Seeing Dylan about to offer his body as bait in part makes me understand why America is called the land of the brave.
Oh!
You got in there?
Yeah.
There's definitely a big catfish in there.
Got him? He's in between my legs.
Dylan has a catfish pinned against the opening, but he's now wedged in. Luckily, he can get his head just above the water to breathe.
Go under his legs.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my head under him and try and get that gill.
Okay.
Right, ready?
I have to get down there and grab what Dylan thinks is a big catfish.
Right, I've got the gill as well.
I grab it and pull it to the surface.
Wait.
It's been a real team effort, and Nate puts it on a stringer so I can then let go. It's my first flathead catfish.
Who would suspect a river like this, so shallow, you think there's nothing in here. Maybe there's stuff a foot long, but there's some real monsters in here and they're hiding very, very close. But boy, it's work to get them out. It's short, but it's very intense. But you've got this protruding lower jaw and you've got these needle-like teeth forming very big pads, and that's basically what I'm trying to get hold of there. But you've also got crushing pads at the back of the throat. Your hand can even go beyond those. It's a bit like a sphincter. Your hand can go right past into the gut. The other thing you've got to watch out for on these is you're trying to reach in and just get on the gill flap, but the gills are protected by those very sharp gill rakers, and if you get one of those getting near your fingers and the fish starts to thrash and try to spin, those are going to sort of create a bit of an injury as well. So it's quite a formidable mouth that can do a bit of damage.
This one weighs around 40 pounds, a big fish by anybody's standards. But Nate thinks it's too small to enter into the contest, so we let it go. We need to catch bigger ones than that if we're going to have any chance of winning the contest. We move further downriver to try and find a bigger catfish. Along the way, we keep an eye out for footprints, signs that a rival team has got here first, taking any potential prize-winning fish. We arrive at a hole where Nate has noodled some massive catfish before.
I try to get you a little mental image of it real quick here. Basically, we're gonna come up to this hole and say this is the surface of the water here. Bottom of the river is gonna be about 4 foot, maybe chest deep water or so. And the sand at the bottom of the river is where the bottom of the hole is. Yeah. And the clay bank is ate away like this. Yeah. It's basically just kind of like that. Yeah. Now it's about 2 people wide. Yeah. So your head, you're gonna be about here. You're gonna be about chest deep water. You're gonna have your feet in the hole at first when we first get there, keep the fish from swimming out. Me and Dylan are gonna get on each side of you. We're gonna put our feet in the hole and basically make a wall. He's gonna come up and he's gonna find you. You're not even gonna have to find him.
This is going to be more complicated than the first hole because all of us are going to have to block the opening. Otherwise, any catfish in there could escape. Time for discussing tactics is over. Before going underwater, it's essential to build a mental picture of the layout below the surface.
Right.
If I don't, I could panic if I come across something unexpected. After feeling around, I've worked out that there's a flat shelf that then drops down to the riverbed. In this vertical face is an opening that goes back into the bank. In here is where a catfish could be hiding. At the moment, I can't tell how far the hole goes back. I'll only find that out by sticking my arm in there.
You're just gonna fill him up. If you get in there far enough, he's gonna be right here, and you're just gonna be able to maneuver him however you want. If you get in there far enough, it'll be no problem. Know that you got people here to help you if anything goes wrong.
And basically, as soon as you hear anything going, you're starting to pull me out anyway, aren't you? So yeah. I put my whole arm into the hole and feel around for what seems like an eternity, but there doesn't appear to be anyone home. My lungs are starting to burn. I get the feeling I'm maybe not in there far enough, is that the idea?
Yeah, you have to keep going there as far as you can.
Yeah, I haven't reached far enough into the hole. As we feel around the opening, something rams our legs.
Oh, he's in there, keep it blocked. Yeah, he just swallowed my whole foot. Yep.
Yeah. We have to make sure that the hole is totally blocked so it can't escape. I submerge again. This time I go head first into the hole, which just keeps on going and going. Visibility is 0, and as I feel around, something bites my hand. Hard. Wait. I manage to get a good hold of it and bring it to the surface. I finally noodled a massive catfish. Oh! Well, that fish was lying there. Boom! Bit me once and let go. And then I sort of fumbled around and then actually reached into its mouth. It's a creepy feeling. I'm putting my body in there. Dylan's feeding me in, pushing me in, head first into a hole under the water. There's something that's going to bite me in there. It's dark. I can't see anything. What a stupid thing to be doing. You know, just ridiculous. But I mean, as fishing goes, it doesn't get much more mad than that. As Nate promised, the catfish is still full of fight. It tries to do a characteristic roll. If we can't control it, it has the strength to break my wrist. Oh! That's doubling my... Oh. Luckily, it decides to let me go. Big flathead catfish. I mean, well named. That head is flat, that lower jaw poking up as well. But just what a beast. It looks a bit sort of torn up. It's got some battle scars. That adipose fin here should just be a normal clean lobe, and that's been split. It's got a bit of a lump on it. Tail's a bit torn. One possibility is these things move into beaver holes, and if there's a beaver already in residence, you know, the beaver probably takes exception. And so, you know, these things have a bit of a tough time. They've got to compete for real estate down there. This fish must weigh at least 50 pounds, making it a strong contender for the contest. Considering the fish that attacked Bobby Sparks was twice the weight of this one, any doubts I had begin to dissolve. When I first heard people talking about North American catfish as being fish that can potentially kill people, my first reaction was, this is a bit unbelievable. This is something I've got to look into. But now, having actually tried this form of fishing where what you're actually doing is trying to provoke the fish to bite you and then hang on to you while you're under the water, in the dark, with just one lungful of air, I can really, really appreciate how these fish can potentially cause human fatalities. Time is running out. We have to load up our 3 biggest catfish and get to the weigh-in. Other teams are returning from their noodling locations all over the county. It's a tense time as everybody gets their catches weighed. Pressure mounts as I start to get recognised. My reputation for catching monsters is on the line. It's our turn to weigh our catches.
Hopefully our 3rd fish will be at least 50 pounds.
Last on the scales is the catfish I pulled out, and it weighs 53 pounds. This gives us a combined weight of 155 pounds. But is this enough to win the contest?
3rd place goes to the team of Michael Gill. The 2nd place was the team of David Walker. 1st place goes to the team of Nathan Williams.
Thanks to the skill of Nate and Dylan, my noodling inexperience has passed unnoticed. And my reputation as a monster catcher remains intact. After claiming our prize, it's time to release these monsters back into the river. I came to America to see if there are killers in its fresh waters. I found deadly bull sharks prowling Florida's canals, right under the noses of thousands of people. An exploratory bite and I could just bleed out, lose a lot of blood, and that could be a fatal encounter. I hooked a spike-backed leviathan from inland shores. I uncovered that there are man-eating sized catfish in a Missouri dam that could be feasting on human corpses.
Head on them, about that big, bigger than me, heavier than me.
And after going noodling, I'm in no doubt that catfish of this size have the strength to drag somebody to a watery death. As I wrap up my adventure, I leave convinced. America's rivers, lakes and canals really are home to potential freshwater killers. Here we go. Here we go. Finally, a strong take. It's a wolffish, the monster I've spent the past 3 weeks trying to catch.